Everyone's having a great Friday today.
Yes.
Excellent. Do we have everybody here, it looks like? I'm having to come from my phone to talk. It looks like my speaker, for some reason, is not working on my computer. I've tried to troubleshoot all morning, and it's just not quite working.
Good morning.
Well, hi, guys. Welcome to Friday ICONversations this week. It looks like we have a really, really great group of people up here to really spread our knowledge of, how to get to the icon if you're almost there, or if it's just something that you aspire to do. Hopefully, we can give you guys some info on how to achieve it. It looks like we're all across the country, it looks like. My name's Alicia Cook. I'm an icon here in Oklahoma. I've been in real estate for about 4 years now and 2 years with EXP, which has been a blessing, and I absolutely love the company. Let's just start with introducing ourselves and talk about our production, how long we've been in real estate. Are we single agents? Are we on teams? And we'll get going. Let's start with Jeffrey.
Hi, I'm Jeff Chubb. I come from Boston, Massachusetts. I service the whole Boston metro market. I have a team. I've scaled down the team size down to 5 people. 6 people, including myself. This year we'll do somewhere in the ballpark of about $40 million in production. Been at EXP for 2 years and a bunch of months. Great changeover, been a great experience, and has really helped us scale up meanwhile, put more money into the company because EXP is costs less to work here. So.
And has anyone seen those stock prices right now? I mean, it's amazing.
6 figures in 2 years is not a bad place to be, that's for sure.
Absolutely. Let's go on to Richard. Did Richard make it?
Hi, I'm sorry. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Hi, my name is Richard Reyes. I'm a real estate broker. Been in the business for a little over 10 years. I'm here in Southern California, about 18 miles east of downtown Los Angeles metropolitan area. I'm happy to be with EXP. Kind of to touch on what we're talking about with stocks, I think we're at about $41 to $42 on the ticker this morning. And I've been with EXP since February of last year, and I've already accumulated, including icon status, I probably accumulated close to 4,000 shares already.
That's amazing.
I'm happy, super stoked.
How about Mike?
Good morning. So it's Mike and Renee, my wife and I, husband and wife team. We've been with EXP a little bit over 3.5 years now. And there's not one company I would rather be. And if we continue with the stock theme, we just had our first Icon Award vested, which was issued at $3.40. So you can imagine that was a good number of shares, and that just vested a week ago. So we are very excited.
That's so awesome. Is it just you two on the team, or do you guys have multiple other agents? And what is your production like?
Renee, do you want to take over on that?
Sure. It's just it's the two of us. We have a full-time operations assistant who's also licensed, so she helps us with showings. And then we just hired a marketing coordinator, and we have a team member as well.
That's really, really, really great. And I'm hoping I'm saying this right. Is it Karina or is it?
Yes. Hi, this is Karina Cisneros. I'm in New Hampshire, in the New Hampshire Lakes region. Out of 6,200 agents, currently I'm number 51 in the state. I am the number 1 agent for EXP in the state of New Hampshire. I started real estate as a single agent 6 years ago through Coldwell Banker, where I started, Berkshire Hathaway, ended up at Keller Williams, where I started to build my team up to 7 agents. After 2 years there, looking where I would fit, I just kind of kept going until the skies opened up and EXP showed up in my life, and I transitioned into EXP about a year ago. So I've been an Icon for about a year. I had 7 agents. Now we only have 2 agents and myself. We have a client services manager who also does compliance and transaction management. We're rebuilding our team slowly. I have my own office location on a main road, which is a branch here in New Hampshire for EXP. We do about $30 million a year in the past couple of years, about 100 homes. This year, I've had the luck of selling several $1 million to $2 million homes on Lake Winnipesaukee. I'm originally from Caracas, Venezuela, became a U.S. citizen a couple of years ago, and I have about 2,000 shares earned through EXP, and I am living the American dream! Woo!
Absolutely love that.
Nice.
I love the enthusiasm. That's so amazing. Well, welcome. That's super cool. I want to talk a little bit about, we always talk about, there's definitely no pun intended when I say this, that, 2020, hindsight is 2020. But I do want to say, we've all kind of been in real estate for a little, some obviously longer than others, but what is one thing about real estate that you know now that you wish you would have known then, and how has it impacted your business?
Well, I could say that for Karina, when I started, I had nothing. And I came into an area in New Hampshire where I did not know anybody. And I was very focused on learning, studying, reading, getting training, racking up transactions, making enough money to pay my mortgage, and so on and so forth. Once I got to a high level of production, I started to realize that it was never really about the money or the transactions. The most valuable thing about what I do, what I discovered, is the relationships with my clients, sellers and buyers, that linger and remain, that will bring back additional business. But just keeping in touch with them, there's some great people. They're not all great, but some of them are. And so it's about the humanity of helping these people and making a difference in their lives. And it's a very romantic part of what I do, but I think that is what makes me get up in the morning, as well as, getting that purchase and sale agreement or that listing. So it's the romantic part, at least for me, that makes it so beautiful.
I love it. I love your attitude. I love your way of thinking about the business. I mean, our business really is about relationships at the end of the day, and building those relationships. What about for you and Renee and Mike? What would you say is the one thing that you wish you would have known then that you know now?
So I'll take that. I think that, going off of that, the relationships are so important, and a lot of our business comes from our sphere and past clients and, people that we know in the community. On building that and communicating with them more, versus our very first business coach was a Mike Ferry coach. And so we were very much, driven on the phones, cold calling, and that was great and it worked, but it was very much, kind of grinding it out versus having a more, like Karina was just saying, just that way of life of, doing business with people that you love, doing something that you love, for the people that you love. And so I think I would have focused more on the people that already know, like, and trust us. And then I also would have started a farm that comes out of, like focusing on one particular area or demographic over a long period of time. We just did that about 4 years ago, and we're really starting to see the fruits of that now. So I would have started a geographic farm earlier in our career.
Well, to kind of go off of that one, how long would you say that it took you, like once you started farming, like that you start even seeing like any kind of results?
So Mike is definitely the ROI figure-outer in our family. He's always doing the numbers.
It was a year rather. I wish it was a week. I think the first deal we got out of it was right around 12 months, and then it started getting to a positive ROI. I want to say probably about 24 months into it.
That's really great. I think a lot of times, people just think, you're gonna start seeing like a big, huge business, after you start something like right away. And sometimes, it really takes a little bit of time to really start seeing the fruits of your labor. With farming, I've done a little bit of farming here. I know some other people who farm quite a bit and are definitely having some success, but it takes a little bit of time, but it's something that I think it's great. And how much would you say that you guys spend on farming?
Right now, it's about $2,000 a month.
Okay, so it's a little bit of an investment for you guys there. What about Richard? What would you say is the one thing that you wish you would have wish you would have known then that you know now?
I don't know. I mean, I'm not much of a person that kind of looks back and thinks should have, would have, could have. I think kind of what everybody's saying right now, they hit it spot on. I mean, if in the beginning of my career when I was selling, a couple of houses, every other month, I think I had kind of like that commission breath where I was just trying to put a deal together to put food on the table. But I agree with everyone that what they're sharing. It's like it's at this stage in my career. Relationships are everything, and I've always been the agent that always did right by my clients. I've always, I've forfeited commissions to make deals happen, to make sure that the deal went through, fine. We work very hard at keeping a reputation. We're very visible online, and just like I'm pretty sure everybody on this panel have a bunch of great reviews, and it all goes back to the client and doing, putting their interests at the forefront of everything we do. I mean, selling a house, I guess, is for us, and well, I'll say for myself in the stage in my career. I mean, I can put a deal together today. So for me, it's always keeping the client happy and creating those relationships so that you do get the repeat and referral business.
I like that too. And last but not least, Jeff.
Sure. This is a business, not a community service. So for me, obviously it's all about customer service, but at the end of the day, I need to make a profit in order to pay for the port additional leads. So I would agree a lot. I love the aspect of the farming. Whoever said that and starting a farm earlier, I wish I had done that. Kind of lives on the aspect of the best day to plant a tree is yesterday, and then second best day is today, right? But my biggest thing is that looking back at it now, and I know a lot of things have changed since I really came in 2008, started in 2008, but it's going to be all about the size of your database. And in my opinion, coming up in our future, if you want to know the ways to battle, the Zillows and the Redfins and the mega teams and become one yourself, it's about the size of your database. So we have about 20,000 people in our database today that just constantly churns off deals. Even though I don't have the agents to handle the lead volume. Right now I'm buying about 1,000 leads per day. I just wish I had been buying the lead volume like I am now 2 or 3 years ago, because we're in a severe seller's market, and those are the people that are, ultimately looking to sell. So
Totally agree about a seller's market. I mean, we definitely do not have enough inventory coming online here in Oklahoma to satisfy all the buyers that we have, with the interest rates being as great as they are. It's been a little bit crazy. As agents too, we get a ton of information kind of thrown our direction, and you should be doing this and you should be doing that. And sometimes it gets a little confusing, even for newer agents, or even agents that have been in production for a little while. But what are the top 3 things that each of you guys do, in your business, to take it to the next level? And does it cost you money, or is it free? We'll start with Karina.
Okay. So, the last gentleman who spoke, yes, when I started, I was on my own, but as I grew the team, I became a business with P&L, balance sheets, so on and so forth. So, the beating heart of my business is my database. And I spend about $2,000 a month with a database service provider who's very robust. They just came up with some artificial intelligence a module, which is just quite amazing. And for the volume that we do, we need to leverage every piece of technology that we can find. So grooming, keeping our database up to date, following up with our leads, putting them in listing alerts, touching them 30 plus times a year in different ways, very, very critical. So that's the engine. Gotta be well maintained, change the oil. You gotta have good wheels, which is kind of like your agents, and you have to be on top of you're in service. So you have to be speed to the lead, speed to get them pre-qualified, speed to show them the property, especially in this kind of market. So those of us who are used to this high level of service, for us, it's just business as usual. But for the new ones coming in and the ones who want to achieve ICON status, you have to be ready to, put the blood, sweat, and tears. Okay. The other 2 things that I do that I enjoy very much is that I have a radio show, which I do. I record it once a month. It's a half-hour show coming on Saturday mornings called Let's Talk Real Estate with Karina Cisneros, where we share with you important information if you'd like to sell or buy a home, and so on and so forth. You can find me on iTunes anyway. So the radio show allows me to bring in experts in the industry, service providers. So I get to meet all those people. They get to meet me. So they're potential referrals. And of course, our audience from Manchester, New Hampshire up to Laconia is also very important, that they get all this. So you can't really quantify what that brings in, but my sponsors pay for the show, so it doesn't cost me anything. The third thing that I do, and I'll squeeze in a last 4th one, is that I do videos. I'm very big on videos. I do 2 videos a month that I send to my database, which has about 11,000 people in it. I've been collecting leads since about 6 years ago when I discovered the lead sellers. Because remember, I knew nobody in this market. Nobody knew me, not one soul. So the last thing that I do is the state of mind. It's somehow my genes were given to me, where I have a motor in my heart and my brain that keeps me going and going and going. So I take care of myself. I should be doing more exercise, but I don't. I should be eating better, but I don't. So those are the things that I do.
You make me laugh. I love it. I think I definitely need to be exercising more as well. What about you, Mike and Renee?
So Renee always makes me switch platforms. So we actually just switched from Sierra Interactive to Ylopo, which has some AI integrated as far as an ISA goes. So we are basically always looking for the best, newest, shiniest object and hope that it's the final solution so we can stay ahead of the curve. And then anything Renee would like to add to that?
I love that you said that I made you. I didn't make you.
Oh, maybe a little.
Thing that really struck us with Ylopo and the reason that we made that jump is some of the, oh shoot, I have a bad connection, somebody's saying, I'm sorry. It's the AI is just incredible, and I think some of the seller tools as well are really pretty exciting because we always want to put our sellers in the very best situation to really have their houses stand out, and you know, of course, have ourselves stand out because of that as well.
What does it cost you guys like per month, you know, to use that service?
Since Renee has some audio issues, I'll chime in. It's a $2,200 commitment right now, which includes about $1,200, $1,300 in ad spend.
Okay. So, I mean, as for like a new agent, you know, obviously it's quite a bit of money, you know, for new agents that maybe aren't generating quite the, you know, the transaction, the selling quite as much as, you know, what some of you guys are selling. Really, I would just say, you know, any kind of database in the very, very beginning, and then you guys can kind of hop into like the Ylopos and other CRMs that are a little more robust in the business. But yeah, just getting a database.
I think KV Core is a really great, you know, it's already included solution for most agents. We are focusing on trying to build the team and provide more leads for the agents that are joining us. And so, and we don't have the patience or the time to necessarily devote to marketing it ourselves. So yeah, when you start out, you've got to do more of the sweat equity. And we did that. We door knocked, we did all the open houses. Like I mentioned before, you know, we were coaching with Mike Ferry. So I talked to 50 people, 50 strangers a day for years, and call around neighborhoods where you have buyers that are searching for homes, and then, you know, transition into more of the check equity as you're able to.
Totally agree. What about you, Richard?
I agree. KV Core is actually pretty good. We boost pretty much every listing that we take, and we get a ton of leads from there. And it's just you know, kind of what Karina talked about, speed to the lead. I mean, or I think Jeff touched on that. We jump on the phone and you know, call them, make the appointment, and you know, you see what the needs are and fill it. One of the things what I like to do, and I kind of, we run a very lean operation. It's just myself, another licensed agent, and one showing partner, and a contracts manager. So I've taught, well, I have a background in collections. So I used to collect big accounts for Kaiser Hospital. They're a pretty known hospital here in California. Anyhow, what we would do is we would skip trace on these buyers. So what that basically means is you can go to any free website out there. There's one called True People Search, and we would run their phone number. And there'll be times where, I mean, it does take a little bit of work. You'd find where they're located. You'd run the property address, and come to find out that sometimes some of these leads actually own property, and they're looking to either downsize or upsize. And when you start reaching out to these leads with that kind of information, I think it kind of makes the conversation a little bit more real than just a regular, hey, I saw you inquired on one of our listings.
This is Karina. I want to add, for all of those who are starting out, I pay a ton of money for my database because I have a team that has to be integrated for everybody to manage the entire database. But when I started, my database was an Excel spreadsheet. So you've heard this before. I'll say it again here. The best database you can use is the one that you have. So start with simple, and you'll grow into a system. As you grow, you have more cash flow, you'll be able to leverage more technology. This is a career that is a marathon, steady as you go. It's not a race, a Formula One car race. It's not happening fast. It's sometimes you work so hard, you think you're not moving forward, but you're actually on.
Hey, Richard, can you make sure you mute your microphone?
Sorry about that.
Thank you. Was everyone able to hear Karina and kind of see what she had to say about starting off in the business?
Yes.
Great.
Am I up now?
And what about you, Jeffrey? What are 3 things that you're currently doing in your business to really take it to the next level?
So 3 things are leads, systems, and videos. So, like I said, so we acquire about 1,000 leads per month. In order to handle that type of lead volume, you actually need really, really, really good systems that are following, that are behind you, supporting you. I was actually one of the first agents in the country to use artificial intelligence about 2 years ago. AI is a very important part of our team and our systems. Just so for everybody to know, Ylopo Artificial Intelligence is actually white gloved through a company called Structurally. So if you're not looking to spend the big dollar that Ylopo does cost you, which by the way, I am a Ylopo customer, and Ylopo isn't a CRM in itself, you do need to have an additional CRM that back supports it. But if you are not looking to spend that $2,200 a nut a month and you were looking for some artificial intelligence, you can reach out to Structurally directly as one of the systems. Another great system somebody mentioned in regards to Ylopo is their seller suite. Their seller suite is specifically with a company called HomeBot. It is a white glove HomeBot, so it's not actually something that they've proprietary developed. HomeBot, I think, costs like $50 a month or something crazy for 500 users. It is so cheap, it's painful. But in regards to the systems and flows, just so you know, how are you efficient with all of these systems? So I also use Sierra Interactive, which I believe in being an investor in another competitor CRM. I still use Sierra Interactive. It is the best CRM out there. And I say that owning a very large chunk in another CRM. For example, a new lead will come in and I can zap HomeBot as a tag in my system where, automatically a report is being created from the HomeBot seller suite, and that is going to just be automatically sent out to that lead once per month. Very high engaging. I mean, if you're looking for something to send to your past clients, it's very inexpensive, and high engagement with the people on there, as well as, for example, I put leads on there for like home value leads, obviously referral leads. Right now, I just started buying leads that were denied mortgages, denied a mortgage. So, they're on there because at some point they'll probably become a seller. So it's really acquiring a lot of leads. And then on top of it, developing those systems, developing that workflow in order to be able to service those leads. And then videos, I feel that video is very important. In the 1,000 leads, our whole entire database, if it's a new lead that comes in, again, the system just automatically picks up and starts retargeting. If it's a buyer lead with a video series of, walking a buyer through the steps on how to buy a property. Same thing if it's a seller. Also, we'll retarget them with videos in regards to what, market reports, things of that nature. Videos are very, 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 very important. They help you connect with all the noise out there from a marketing standpoint. A consumer being able to see your face and a constant amount of, over many, many, many impressions it's going to make a huge difference from your ability to, from a long term, I should say, to convert those leads. So those are the three things that I'm doing.
Really love that. Definitely. I mean, we all get like so many emails or postcards and stuff like that, and I don't usually look at those, but like videos, I definitely pay attention to. It looks like somebody was asking you about your videos, Jeff. Let's see here.
Yep. So I mean, look, the videos can be on anything. You know, like my whole video series of walking them through the steps of a buyer process. When all of this happened, when coronavirus hit, I created a white paper in regards to the 7 steps. If you happen to miss your mortgage payment, hey, here are the 7 steps, 7 things that you can do, right? So each one of those 7 things were videos, and a lead that came in order to download that white report was then retargeted with each and every single one of those videos, and you can make it so that way, you know, so somebody watches one video, great. Now we're going to go put the second video in front of them. They've consumed the second video of content. Now we're going to go put the third video. So you can create campaigns in that sense, which our buyer campaign is just that, right? It's a 7 video series that we're, you know, putting in front of them in order to move them along the content train, if you will. People love market reports. That is one of the most highly absorbed videos out there. Facebook is a paradigm of amazing ability in regards to, you know, I have market reports that are viewed 12, 13,000 times in 1 month. That's with a boost. The power of that is that Facebook keeps track of the people that are viewing those market reports. And so when I go and create the next month's market report, I can then retarget all the people that have viewed past market reports by creating audiences. So essentially you're staying in front of them for the multitude of contexts in order to build your brand, your name, your brand recognition in their head, because 15 years ago, it only took 7 to 10 impressions for somebody to remember you. Today, I believe it's 17 to 20 impressions in order for somebody to remember you. So it's a lot harder for us marketers. We have to be a lot more proactive. It's not just sending one postcard anymore and getting, a huge response, which ultimately why somebody brought up farming earlier, like with the farming aspect of it. It takes a while for something like farming because of those build-up impressions, which is why, boy, I wish, to circle back to where we started, I wish I had started farming when I started, 12 years ago, and start on small farms, 500 people, and grow it slowly but surely. So hopefully that answered that question.
I absolutely love it. I think Renee, both think that you should probably teach a class on that. I would love to come and learn all about the retargeting stuff.
There's a lot there. Facebook is an unbelievable marketing medium in regards to what you can do on it. And by the way, that's where most of my my buyer leads, I don't buy Zillow, I don't buy Realtor.com. I buy the crappy leads, the shitty leads that everybody tells you are, which are Facebook and Google pay-per-click. But I'm not in this for the short game, I'm in this for the long game. So I have no problems buying a $3 Facebook lead that I'm going to continue to retarget to, and they're going to buy a house a year and a half, 2 years down the road. That's fine with me. Again, do that trade 1,000 times. When you're buying 1,000 leads per month, that's the big picture that I personally am trying to develop. So
I'd like to say something. We are on this stage, we've taken our business to a certain level, but you can start from nothing and just use the tools and the training that EXP gives you, and just lower your head and do what you need to do, get used to making those calls, and as you make money, reinvest 25-30% or as much as you can back into the business. And if you want to become not a real estate agent but a real estate professional, then you slowly build your business. So I just want to say that, again, you don't start out by being like one of us here, we've been through so much. We started from nothing too. So I guess I just sort of say don't be discouraged. You can also do it if you want to.
Actually, I have one more thing to add, and in regards to systems, if you don't mind, if I can throw it in there. So Sierra, one of the big things you're going to start seeing, and Sierra's, I think, the leader in this, is automated campaigns where they're already built out. It's just a piece of the system, right? So, when you're looking for systems and we're looking, you got to think systematic in regards to if that lead comes in, so many people just drop that lead after one connection. Versus if a referral exchange lead or a home light lead comes in, they're putting an automated campaign system where we're following up with them for the next year, whether, we set and forget it, if you will. So that's my biggest aspect for anyone and everyone looking to build their business, whether you're selling 10 houses now or 5 houses. If you're adding something on, think of it systematic. How can you scale up with that lead source, with that system, with whatever it might be? So, sorry, I just forgot about automated systems there.
A wealth of knowledge, Mr. Jeff. I love it. What would you guys all say? We're going to go on to the next question, and this is for everyone regarding not really spending any money, but for those agents, to do their businesses right now, to kind of get going. What is the first step? Every single agent, no matter if you've been in the business for a little while or you're brand new to the business, what is one thing that everyone should be doing right now for their business to get it going?
I'll take a stab at that. Gonna be repetitive, but you got to build your database. Database. If you're not organized through a database, you are spending an enormous amount of energy, wasting an enormous amount of energy, because today, every lead you put in your database has to be put in an automated system of follow-up over the years. I work with clients who came into my life 3 years ago that reached out to me after 3 years ago. To me, that's a free lead because I paid for that lead 3 years ago. So database.
Mike and Renee?
So Renee has a certain document that she gives anybody that's starting out or on the team or with us in general, and that's how to get those people out of your phone into your database. So Karina is right. It's definitely not write down the list of 200 people, and there's a memory jogger that helps you find those people, and start with your not phone book. What is it? Your contacts in your phone, and then use the memory jogger. And then, so who do you go? Who's your dentist? Who's an attorney you might know, and so on and so on, and then start putting those people into the database. And then maybe you have only a phone number, maybe you have only an email address. It doesn't matter. Then you can go ahead and just put them in, and make a point every day to reach out to the people that you don't have complete contact information for. And then it's an easy call. Let's say, hey, it's Mike and Renee. We just started a new business venture. I wanted to let you know that we are now selling homes in El Dorado Hills, and for some reason I don't have your email address. Could you give me your email address? And so so first of all, you're going into action, and you're doing something, and you're making your database to the point to where you actually can communicate with them on an automated basis. And then I think Renee may want to say something too. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I was actually trying to find the memory jogger, so I'll keep looking for that and try to find the link and put that in the chat. But you already know the people, I've heard somebody say, build a list of people that you would invite to your wedding and put them into KV Core as soon as possible. And like Jeff's been saying, systematically reach out to them. I think the phone call, there's not under 40 folks might say, okay, I'm just going to text, and that's okay too. But you have to get in contact with these people. And I think voice to voice connection is the most powerful for sure.
What about you, Richard? Did we lose Richard? We'll go on to Jeff.
I'm
We'll
here.
come back to Richard.
I'm here. Sorry. So I had it on mute. My apologies. What I would say is if you have I think it's $150 to sign up for a dialer. I'm an old school Mike Ferry, a real estate agent as well. We were taught calling the expireds, the for sale by owners, the just listed, just sold. Obviously the expires and the for sale by owners are easy to get. You can just go on Zillow and try and reach out to these people. The expireds obviously cost money. So if you want to keep it lean right now, I would say invest in a dialer and just make phone calls. And I'm all about the script, the Mike Ferry script, and yeah, I agree it does work. My script is very simple these days. I'm still making calls to this day, and my script is simply this. I'll call and say, hey, Richard, I was calling to see if you still love your home, and see what they say. I mean, they might say yes, they may say no, they may say don't ever call me again, but the whole objective behind this is to get someone to say, actually, no, we actually need a bigger house because now we're working from home because of the pandemic. You just help people to think, or you're trying to make them think and say, okay, is a house still feasible? If it's not, then see where the conversation goes and see if there's a need of maybe an upsize in their house. I have a listing right now, as a matter of fact. I've been following this lady for 2 years. And since the pandemic hit, she's been working from home. So she needs something a little bit bigger. So, lo and behold, we're in escrow right now for $15,000 above list price because, as everyone knows, the inventory is very limited. So yeah, just making these phone calls and I think I don't know if someone on the panel said they were speaking to 50 people a day. That's pretty good. I mean, if you're barely getting in this business, there's no reason why you shouldn't be speaking to 50 people in a day. So, yeah.
I like it. I think that was in the old days. Yeah, Renee, yeah. The old days. What about you, Jeff?
So I guess for me, the one thing is I would say is just continue to build your database. The biggest database wins. My goal was to be at 50,000 people in my database by the end of the year. I won't hit it, unfortunately. But Richard was talking about calling. The reason why, in my opinion, the size of your database matters so much is because calling is so important. But blind calling, I think it's going to become more and more risky to call expireds, call for sale by owners. And I say that having just cut a $2,000 check for calling an expired a year and a half ago because they weren't on the do not call list, or because they were on the do not call list. Same thing with texting. So if these folks are in your database because they have had some type of inbound, they came inbound in some way, right? And when they come inbound, they are agreeing to you to contact them. It just changes the game. Also, when you have a database of X amount of people, you don't need to call expireds. You don't need to call for sale by owners because you have those people constantly just kind of poking their head up and saying, hey, I'm interested in buying or selling, with the right systems in place. So for me, that one thing is 100% the size of your database. The bigger you can get it, the faster you can get it, the better, because I truly believe that there's going to be a shift back to the business is going to shift back to it's a little bit different than it was in the 70s, where the real estate company had all the power. I think you're going to start seeing more and more of these mega teams just gobbling up more and more market share. So I think at this point it's a race to whose database can be bigger in order to gobble up that market share and fight off the the Zillows and the Redfins and our enemies, if you will.
Completely agree. let's just take this last bit of time. Like if anybody in the audience has like any questions for the panel up here, and let's see if we can answer a few things for some people.
Hi, this is Joanna Johnson. I have a question for Jeff.
Yeah.
Hey, Jeff, what do you say when you call your database or your 7 Series videos working so well that, hey, you know, people are calling you because they're ready to sell?
I personally don't call, Joanna. I have my agents that still call. That's just where I am in the business. I personally don't do a lot of outbound work. I wait for people to come to me, past clients, whatever it might be. But with our systems in place, you know, we'll get notified if a lead has viewed 123 Main Street 7 times, right? And so that's just a very simple phone call of, you know, hey Joanne, I just was calling to check in. Did you see that house at 123 Main Street? Looks like it could be great and a perfect fit for you, which we know they've seen it.
Right.
You don't generally want to say I saw that you were looking at, because then they're like, so you were spying on me. You know, that's definitely a script way. Just a simple, hey, you know, it's Jeff, just calling to check in to see how, you know, the home search is going, and then shutting up and just letting them talk. One of the best things is to ask, well, you know, what's your situation? Just that, use the word situation. Well, you know, what's going on? What's your situation? And then again, shutting up and people love talking about themselves. So you need to make it all about them. That's really what you want to do in those phone calls. But, you know, otherwise the phone calls are important, but the thing that we're seeing is that text messages are becoming the overwhelming importance. I mean, people respond to text messages more than they pick up the phone now. Our artificial intelligence is a 51. So artificial intelligence is all done through text message. That has a 51% response rate. 51%, versus you would never get a 51%. You know, pickup rate on calling phones. So,
right.
We still do call, but texts are pretty much becoming very, very extremely important now.
So you're reaching out to those folks looking at things and it's giving you the buy signals, so you're texting them and sometimes calling them.
Exactly. I mean, we're texting, calling, and emailing. I mean, if somebody comes into our system because they've acquired, I mean, it is a full court blitz. Not only do we have the artificial intelligence reaching out to them, her name's Valerie, which, by the way, I had somebody request a showing to Valerie, and I jumped in there and confirmed the appointment for tomorrow afternoon, right? $500,000 listing, or awesome, or, you know, buyer appointment. So, you know, people do think that she's a real person. It's amazing. I mean, the artificial intelligence has gotten so good where somebody said, I'm looking to retire in the next 2 years. And the AI came back and said, congratulations on the future retirement. I mean, you could have picked my jaw up off the floor, because I used to, when I started this 2 years ago, I'd have to jump in that conversation as quickly as possible, say, congratulations on your future retirement, right? Before she would say something stupid. But the text messaging, I mean, somebody that comes in, they get all blitz and whatever they respond with. So if they respond with a text message, that's their preferred way of communication. If they respond with a phone call, that's their preferred way of communication, right? Or an email. And then that's what you lean towards. But if we're just following up and checking in with them, we're doing all of the above: calls, text messages, and emails. And what's interesting is that people used to get so many emails back in the day. They don't get as many anymore, I think, because the junk filters and everything have gotten a lot better. So I feel like, and I don't have any real true hard data to say this, but I've noticed that the email response rate has gotten better in the last year or so. I think because the spam filters have gotten so much better. So if you're following up with somebody and you're reaching out to them, make sure that you do it in all three aspects.
So that's kind of covering the buyer side, but what about your sellers? How are you getting them over to the let's go do something stage?
So our market, we have less than 1 month worth of inventory in our market. I've pretty much given up on seller lead gen, in the sense of separate, like, you know, expireds, and we just don't even have expireds. So in order for me to get sellers today, I'm actually targeting markets where there are a lot of move up buyers, right? So I'm targeting, my market. These are, $800,000 plus, markets where most likely if they're moving in that market, they're going to have a property to sell. So for me, it's turned full circle in regards, because nobody really wants to sell their house. Selling a house is a miserable process, but everybody wants to buy. That's the fun part, going out and looking at pretty houses. So even with sellers, Ylopo, who with our artificial intelligence, so it is structurally, but it's their initial text message is Ylopo scripting. But even in their campaigns, the seller side will initially be, hey, did you want to know about the market? Did you want to know about X, Y, and Z? And then they shift it over to the buyer side of, hey, were there any houses that you wanted to go out and take a look at? Because that is what is interesting. That is what is exciting to a seller and a buyer. But the seller side, I mean, it's the same stuff. Do you want to know your value of your house? Do you want to know what the current market conditions are? Hey, here, check out this video stuff.
I love how you shifted that to the, hey, what do you want to look at, so that we can get them focused on where are they going, not where are they leaving. I love that.
Exactly.
Thank you.
And
So
that's the importance of it. My pleasure.
It looks like someone asked, is anyone marketing probate, default, or failed loan modifications?
I just started marketing to people that were denied a mortgage or refinance specifically. Literally just started this week ago, built a huge year-long campaign of text, emails, and phone numbers. I don't have anything to write home about. I haven't gotten anything from it. Literally just started a week. I used to do probates. Call me a wimp. But I got tired of my dad died at a young age. So I got a little gun shy when, you're calling people or they're, just saying that you're an ambulance chaser and you're dealing with these widows and things of that nature. But I will tell you, for the while that I did it, I got 2 lists. It definitely paid for itself. I got 2+ listings on it.
Nice. Looks like Renee asked me how I became an ICON agent in just 4 years. This will actually be my 2nd year to achieve ICON. I am actually just a referral and network-based agent. I do a ton of networking with people and just letting people know what I do. Really, I was pretty big on social media for a while, to be honest with you. I've kind of been just taking care of my kids and kind of having fun during COVID. So I've kind of been a little lax in that department, but I need to kind of ramp it on back up. But really, honestly, it's been a lot of luck and just keeping after people. I would just say follow up. That's the biggest thing I get from all my clients, is that they had agents who never followed up with them, and they said that they didn't seem to care about them. And so I stay in contact with them. I'm hoping at the end of the year to do a client event if we can here. I'm not quite sure how to do that at this point, but really follow up, a lot of networking, just letting people know what I do.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing, Alicia.
Looks like Richard asked, Jeff, what are you using to build out a plan for marketing denied mortgages?
So I just use, it's all part of CR Interactive. It's all part of my CRM. It like I said, it's by far, in my opinion, the best CRM out there.
Awesome. Is there anybody else?
I've got a question. My name is Kamil. I'm in Nashville, Tennessee. Market is very tight here, not a whole lot of availability. And I was wondering if you had any recommendations to marketing to small developers who are building homes anywhere between 2 to 20 homes.
Does anyone want to take that?
Sorry, I was answering a text. I missed the question. What was the question?
Marketing to developers, because the market is very tight. There's not much availability, and it's very hard to help buyers, and there's not many people who want to sell their homes, but there are people going out there and building homes as a development, as a small developer or builders. And the smaller, medium ones, they may not have their own real estate department handling all the sales, and they're going to hire a broker to handle it.
Generally, if you're the agent that brings the land or the development opportunity, you're going to get the listings on the back end. So if you want listings from developers, then find the land, find the raw opportunities in order to, off-market opportunities in order to turn around and flip to those developers.
Okay, thank you.
I thought it was a great panel today. I really appreciate you guys all coming today. If there was any last minute questions from anybody, but we will try to wrap this up. Alrighty then. Well, I guess we will say thanks for coming to join us today, this lovely Friday. Hopefully the weather's good in everybody's states at the moment, and that we can all get back out there and sell some real estate.
Thank you, Alicia.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you to the panelists.
Everybody.